updates. So this is my second allotment update for the month of February. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. I'm going to be doing monthly updates on my allotment and gardening progress throughout the year. And also my channel has content that's about my creative projects and trips that I go on or take you with me. So yeah, if that all appeals to you and you like what you watched today, please do consider subscribing and liking the video, and if you'd like to, pop a little comment down below. So for February, my first job, as you can see, is to pot on my cucumbers. So I sowed these in January. It's a bit early for sowing cucumbers normally, but I'd seen on Jessie at Plot 37's channel that she'd done this for a few years and was really successful in growing cucumbers I think in her conservatory, but basically up against a bright window. So these are those cucumbers that I sowed in January, and they're looking pretty good. And now it's time to pop them on into their own pots. So there we have it, 3 lovely looking cucumbers. I've just bought a ranunculus. Look at it. They're so beautiful. I like their little sort of, almost like little pom-poms or something. There's one that's just flowering then, and there's loads more to come. So I'm going to pop this at the gateway to the allotment, so that as people come in, or as I come in mainly, there's a lovely colourful sort of burst of flowers. Even in the winter, that's what I like about these. They're one of those flowers that blooms in the colder months. So I wanted to get some on the allotment. This was only £3.50, so I treated myself. Yeah, look at that. It's going to be lovely as I wander in. That's going to greet me at the gate. So yeah, let's get in and let's get it planted. Yeah, this planter is right at the gate of the allotment. So my plan is to put some nice flowers in it. So as I walk through the gate, and if I have visitors, it's a nice welcome. And even when it's winter, these ones are flowering, which I love. So there we go. Hopefully it'll be happier there, out of its pot, and its roots can get into that compost. And yeah, those beautiful flowers should bloom soon. So a little garlic update on the 6th of Feb for you. Some of them seem to have recovered after the frost in January. There's a little ropey one in the middle there that doesn't look too happy, but I still have faith that they're going to come back. I hope so anyway. Do you remember me planting these in the pallet fence in my last vlog? Well, they're still alive. They're looking okay, and I think I've worked out what they are. They're grape hyacinths, which I should have remembered because I love them. So yeah, soon there'll be these lovely blue flowers bursting out of here. But for now, I'm just happy that they survived the transplantation. And a little update on the spring bulbs. Look at those, tulips are coming up. Now these are in the polytunnel, so they're in a bit of a better situation than outside. That one's looking a bit dodgy, but we'll see how it goes. There's another one coming up here. So yeah, quite exciting. Spring is on its way. Got 2 more pots here. I can't quite remember what's in them. I know they're spring bulbs, but there's no sign of life yet. So hopefully when they do pop their heads above the surface, I'll remember what they are. It's the 8th of February and the lowest temperature overnight has been -2.8. The highest it's been in the greenhouse is 12.2 and it's currently 8.8 degrees. So it's time for some more early sowings. So this is celeriac going in, that's the monarch variety. And there's turnip snowball, which are white ones, and turnip purple top Milan, which have a purple top. I've had all of these before, so I'm pretty confident that they'll be okay. Next is Black Beauty aubergines. They're the kind of classic ones that are meant to be the easiest to grow, so they'll go alongside my other aubergines. Next, some more cabbages. So this is Red Rookie, which I think Danny from the Grow Up channel recommended. Some Greyhound, which are the kind of classic ones, and red drumhead cabbages too, so 2 types of red. Here I'm doing purple sprouting broccoli and some Raab 60-day broccoli, which should be ready in 60 days, and some Chima de Rapa, which is similar to broccoli but more leafy, and that's another recommendation from Jessie at plot 37, I believe. Next are my radishes. So you can see here I'd run out of labels, so I just used the pot handle to write my labels on. So we've got Mooley big white radishes in the first 2 pots, and then in the centre I'm doing French breakfast radishes, the sort of bog standard sort of ones that you think of when you think of radishes. And then 2 types of beetroot, golden beetroot at the back and red beetroot at the front. And 3 days later we have germination. So this is the broccoli, or 2 types of the broccoli. The red cabbage and the white cabbage have germinated, and the Mooley radishes have germinated too. Looking a little bit leggy though, so I'll be getting those in the greenhouse soon. So we have germination on the aubergines and sweet peppers that I sowed in January, which I'm really chuffed about because they can sometimes be a bit tricky to germinate. They do need the heat though, so these won't be going down to the greenhouse anytime soon. It's the 12th of February and just thought I'd do a little update in the greenhouse. So I've brought some seedlings with me from home today. You can see, so this is some French breakfast radish, which have just germinated at home, and then two pots of Mooley radishes. They germinated so quickly, and as you can see they've been stretching to get to the light, so needed to get to the greenhouse, so here we are. Also from home I've brought another few things with me. So here's a tray of, let's see, cabbages. Again, you can see they're like bending to try and get to the light, so they definitely needed to come up. So we have red cabbage on the far end. Cabbage, oh, so the red cabbage is Red Rookie. The next one along is cabbage Mozart, then greyhound cabbage, and then red drumhead cabbage closest to me. So they haven't germinated quite as quickly, but it looks like they might still come up. So we'll see how they do now they're in the greenhouse and they've got a bit more light. So the warmth from home got them going, and now in the greenhouse the light should help them, you know, stop them getting leggy. So here I've sown so many seeds I forget what I sow. Broccoli has just started to germinate on the end there, and then we have, so that's purple sprouting broccoli on the end there, and then we've got Raab broccoli for the rest of the tray. And the Raab broccoli, I think that's the 60 days, so I should be able to harvest that in 60 days, so that's why that one's kind of shot up quicker than the other two, or the other ones. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying that, because I did try it last year or a couple of years ago, but I think it germinated, but I think maybe it got cold or dry or something, and I didn't actually get harvest from it. Probably my fault for not looking after it properly. So other things we've got in the greenhouse are some alliums that I sowed quite late actually. I only just sowed them maybe a week or two ago. I think they should have been technically sown in like before Christmas, I think, but they've come up and they're looking okay. Now they're in the greenhouse. Again, they've got some light on them, so they look quite happy. The rest of the greenhouse is looking pretty good as well, actually. Let's take a look. So here's the kale that was sown in January. That was in my January allotment update. So it seems to still be quite happy in there. One of them looks a bit, well, a couple of them look a bit bent over, but we'll see. I mean, there's plenty in there, so if they all come up, we're going to be well good for kale. I might give a few plants out to other people as well, because kale is really good to have, but I've got a few varieties of it and it's like cut and come again, so I can take a harvest off of it and then, you know, a week later there'll be loads more leaves, so I probably won't actually need that many plants, but it's good to have spares and backups. Parsley's looking good, which I'm really pleased about, because we bought some parsley from the supermarket to have on the windowsill in the kitchen at home, and as soon as we put it there, the next day it was wilted. I think it's just the conditions in the house aren't very good for it, so it's really good to see that this parsley seems to be quite happy in the greenhouse. We've got red drumhead cabbages here, which were sown towards the end of January, and they were in my last video as well, but they're looking quite happy. Pretty pleased with those. The peas are still looking good, sown in November, so they've been in here a long time, but it's still looking quite happy. And considering that when I came in, this thing had fallen on top of them, they're looking quite good. They've held up quite well. I need to get this fixed. This is one of the windows in my greenhouse broke like a long time ago, and I've just had this plastic sheeting up at it. Well, it's like rigid sheeting, but it's blown down. I think it must have blown down in the wind recently, and yeah, it was on top of my peas when I got here, so I need to sort that out. Leeks are looking okay. They've kind of, yeah, coming along all right. And behind me is the cauliflower all year round. Not sure about those, they look a bit of an odd shape. Some of the big ones look okay, but the little ones, I don't know if it's just that they haven't opened up properly yet, but they kind of look a bit of a weird shape, but we'll see. Onions are looking okay, not many of them, but the ones that are here look all right, and it looks like there's a few more starting to appear there. Bedfordshire champion onions looking tall, and again it looks like a few more might germinate, but considering I've filled the whole tray, not many have come up yet. This is the winter salad kind of mix, so that's looking okay. Don't know if they're looking a bit leggy, but they're in the greenhouse, so I can't give them much more light than they've already got, but they look okay. And the lamb's lettuce and the land cress, no sign of those yet. So they were sown only on the 25th of January, so I'll give them a few more weeks and see if they appear. And then we've got the herbs in the Agrilan planter. So I've got these written down at home what they are, so I'm not going to guess too many, but there's obviously a chard there, that's this yellow one. So there's a row of chard, and there are some of the like herbs, some are savoury. Yeah, I'll have to go through those with the with my notebook at home and let you know what all of those are, but most of those look okay. There's this row here that hasn't germinated yet, but we'll see. The rest of it's looking all right though, but I'll keep the cover on just to keep them a little bit warmer. It's getting a balance between keeping the cover on, oh, and not doing that and damaging things, and also like sometimes the moisture can make them rot, or yeah, so it's keeping the cover on to keep the moisture in and keep them warm, but also it can also sometimes make them kind of get mould and things, so it's getting that balance and giving them airflow when I can when I'm here. And then down here we've got the sweet peas in their little mini greenhouse that I made in my January video. They're looking okay. They've slowed down a bit since they haven't been in the warmth of the house, but I mean they're still green, which is good, rather than, you know, brown or yellow. So I'll just keep them in there and see how they get on. And yeah, that's pretty much the what's in the greenhouse in the sort of middle of February. One of my allotment neighbours has a piece of glass that should fit that area, but I'm just waiting until I see them again and until they've kind of got their greenhouse sorted that it's coming off of. So hopefully I'll be able to get that sorted soon. And there's also one behind me here, which is the window of the greenhouse. That, like the plastics, that's been in there for months and it's never fallen out, you know, over winter and everything. So hopefully it'll be okay. But yeah, I should be getting a piece of glass that fits in there as well from the same allotment neighbour. So rather than having to go out and spend money, I should be able to get some free glass and then get that fitted in. But yeah, it's just, you know, until I can get that glass off of them, this will do for now. So back at home, and it's the 15th of February. 5 days ago I sowed some lilia spring onions. They should be pink when they're full grown, and look, we have 2 that have germinated. One here, and I think, yep, there's another one just there. This is lychee, and they're germinating, which I didn't think they would, just from the supermarket. Yeah, so I'll keep you updated on the progress of those. I sowed some more Bedfordshire Champion onions. They're starting to germinate. The underneath here we've got Zabroon shallots, and there's no sign of those yet, which is a shame. We'll keep going with them though. And under here we have some aubergine, looking pretty nice. And these are the peppers, I believe. Red King, as recommended by Mark's allotment plot. And some more aubergines here. And then some more aubergines. These were the Black Beauty ones that I sowed just earlier in February, so these have come along nicely. That's why they're a little bit smaller than the other ones though. And I sowed kohlrabi, which I haven't shown you. Looking a bit leggy though, so it's to the greenhouse of those, I think. But look at these. So I'd hung them up on the window in some hangers, and I think a draft came through the window and caught them. Oh, should not have done it. But luckily I only had 2 hangers, so one of the cucumbers was left on the windowsill, and that one is looking rather good. So phew, good job I sowed 3 of those, and good job I left one of them where it was. So it's the 17th of February, and I just thought I'd give you an update of how the greenhouse is looking. And a new addition today is, oh, label's gone, is the kohlrabi. I love kohlrabi, so I'm really pleased that lots of those have germinated, but they were looking a bit leggy, as you can see. So brought them into the greenhouse, and hopefully they'll be happier in here. And then we've got the Agralan little planter as well, that's got all of the herbs and things in. So from top to bottom we have a row of little gem lettuces. We then have half a row of spinach and half a row of wild rocket. We then have charred ruby and charred bright lights, which is the yellow one that you can see. The next row down hasn't germinated yet, but that should be peppermint and summer savoury. And then the one below that we have sorrel on the left, dill on the right, and then below that is tarragon on the left, thyme on the right, and then on the row nearest to the camera is oregano on the left and basil on the right. So yeah, it's mid-February and got quite a full greenhouse. Haven't gone on to any of the other shelves yet, but I'm trying to keep everything on the top shelves of things so that the sun can get to it pretty well. That's Rufus in the background. Here he is. He's come with me today. He's having a little trot around the allotment while I do some jobs. Oh yeah, and the sweet peas as well in their little greenhouse. Seem to be looking okay. Again, they've slowed down growth a little bit since they've been in here, but that's probably a good thing. I think they were just growing quite quickly, trying to stretch up for the light. So it's a good thing that they've slowed down, and they should be a bit more kind of robust, hopefully. So when the warmer weather comes, I'll whip off the mini greenhouse and they can stay in here for a little bit, and then I'll get them all outside, and hopefully we'll have loads of lovely flowers all over the allotment like we did last year. And I'll maybe put some up over the arches and they can grow up and we can have a flowering archway, which would be lovely. He's a good boy. Yeah, he's a good boy. What you been doing? You've been hiding around the back of the polytunnel where I couldn't see you. Yeah, he has. Good boy. Where are you going now? He's off. So there's not much happening in the polytunnel, but I did discover the other day my perennial leeks are still alive. So I bought these, I think they were from eBay. Can't remember how much they were, but the idea is that you plant them and then you can just almost like cut and come again, I think is the idea. And I planted them in these pots just to get them started like it suggested before putting them in the ground. And they looked okay to start with, they were fine. And then I think once the winter started coming, they just looked like they died, and I was like, oh, maybe I've just not watered them, or maybe they've got cold, or I didn't know what was wrong with them. And I just slung them on top of a planter that had some weeds in it, and kind of forgot about them and just thought, oh, that was just another few pound wasted. And then the other day when I came up, I just had to look down. I don't really look at this bit very often because it's got loads of weeds in it, and I thought, oh, I'll deal with that, you know, a bit later, clear it up and get something planted in. And these little pots they'd shot up again, and yeah, they'd also grown into the soil of the planter. So yeah, I've whipped them out. So you might be able to see there's a natural break in the liner here. So I'm just going to curl that back, pin it down, and then the leeks can go here rather than cutting holes in the plastic. So I've got 8 leeks, so I'm just going to space them out evenly along this bed here. Yes. Look at those roots. Whew. They definitely needed to come out of that pot. The pot. So just gently split them up. Looks like a bulb on there. Don't know why I'm surprised. I didn't think leeks sort of did that. A little one. That's 4. There's some grass in here too, so it'll be good to get it out of here so that it hasn't got the grass growing around it. It's a mix of leek roots and grass roots. I think these might be a little bit harder to separate than the last bunch. hopefully their roots will come back. So I'm breaking up a few while I'm teasing them apart, but they should recover hopefully. You watch, I'll come back next week and they'll all be dead in the ground. So just going to space them sort of evenly here. Try and plant them quite deep as well. I have learned that you plant leeks deep. 2 and 8. So I could put one further up that end, but I know that end has brambles that grow up from the fence there. So I'd rather put one closer to the path than closer to the fence, because it's going to have less competition. So, first one in. Oh. Pop that in there. 1. 2. A little bit deeper, I think. Get the hori knife in there. This is great. It's like you can dig with it, cut with it. It's fantastic. It's got like a serrated side, a sharp side, and then it's wide enough that you can also use it as like a kind of trowel to dig holes too. So I'm just spiraling. If the roots are a bit long, I'm just sort of turning it as it goes in, and they kind of spiral down into the hole. And then with annual leeks, normal leeks that you'd sow from seed and plant every year, I've learnt that when you put them in the ground, you're supposed to just pop the plant in and then just water them in and not fill the hole in. But I'm not sure with these, so I'm just going to maybe pop a little bit of soil in there. I'll put this little one right at the end, because if it doesn't do anything, then I won't have a gap, you know. If that one doesn't survive, I'll put it on the end, then it will just be less on the end. But if I put it in the middle, then I'm going to have a gap. That's my plan. That's my theory anyway. When I have things that look a bit small or a little bit sickly, I put those ones on the end. And if they don't survive, it doesn't ruin my nice row of vegetables. Not that it's all about how it looks, but it doesn't hurt if the thing looks nice as well. It's the last one in. So yeah, like I say, with normal leeks, you would just leave them. Maybe water them in, and the water just sort of, and the weather fills the hole in. But with these ones, I'm just going to fill them in, because just to be sure that they're going to settle in okay. I won't push down on them too hard. I'll just make sure that they're not totally exposed. And I mean, they survived all winter. Well, they survived a few months with me thinking they were dead, so they've got to be pretty hardy. But we'll see. So here they are, the leeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a little tiny 8. So yeah, hopefully they'll be happy there. Check out how well the Christmas tree is doing. This has been here a few years now, and it was pretty much dead. It was someone's Christmas tree from their house, and they brought it to the allotment to put it in the compost, but I stuck it in the ground. It's got new shoots. Hoping it doesn't get too big thinking about it. It's also the dogwood as well. This is beautiful. Look at the red stems that it has in the winter. That's why we planted it, because it's it looks good all year round. So this may just look like a pile of bricks, but it is actually my bug hotel. I had all these bricks left over from the previous tenant on the allotment, and I've been using them to hold things down, prop things up. But then when we cleared the allotment and put the plastic down, we just kept finding them. So I said, oh, I'll pile them up here under the oak tree, and it can act as a little bug hotel. I wanted to show you these. They are, I believe, they're oak galls, and I think they're made by a wasp, and you can take them off, and there's a way to make oak gall ink or paint from them. So yeah, I might be trying that one day. Are you ready to see my giant rhubarb? Can you see it? Have you spotted it yet? Look at that. I mean, what? Something, I think that one's been chewed off by something. And it's just not good. I've put multiple grounds of rhubarb on my allotment and they've never survived. This one's been here, this is its second year now. Yeah, I tried moving it up here because my allotment neighbour has their rhubarb at this end of the allotment, so I thought, well, maybe that will work. But it doesn't look like it. I'll leave it in and we'll see what happens. The cucumber is now so big that it needs a stick. So I've got one here. I'm going to carefully add it into the pot. So I'm not putting it too near the stem because I'm hoping that I'm not going to disturb too many of the roots by doing it. So I think it's just going to be long enough just for me to wrap it round a little bit and just start training it upwards, giving it a bit of stability as it does so. And it's starting to grow the little tendrils, look. So they're hopefully going to start clinging on to. It's going to need repotting soon. There we go. It looks a bit better than it did. It's got a little bit more on the top to keep it growing up a little bit more before it needs a longer stick. Eventually, my plan is to have it grow up the window and then even let it hang back down the window again. And then hopefully I'll have lots of lovely cucumbers up there. Aubergines and chilies are looking good today. And the cucumber, which was about 2 inches away from the stick when I put it in there 2 days ago, is now this tall. So it's the 23rd of February and I just got to the plot, came into the greenhouse just to check on the seedlings at the back. I'll give you an update in a second. And I found this tray that I chucked on my, just over to the side thinking that's rubbish. They've been in there months and not done anything. And check it out. Coriander. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 plants have germinated on the coriander. So I'm going to pop it back up on the shelf. No longer is it going to be discarded in the pile of pots. It's actually going to go back on the shelf. If I have space, having said that, I might put it on here on my potting bench for now. But yeah, I think it might need a little bit of water as well, because obviously I've been neglecting it, thinking it was never going to germinate. Update on everything else. So turnips. Purple top, snowball have now germinated, which is good. And oh, is that? I think one celeriac has popped its head up. So hopefully there'll be more. It looks like it's only just come up, so it might mean that there'll be some more coming. We also have French breakfast radishes. Look at them. Ooh. They've gone so quickly, but then radishes do. These are the Boldor beetroot. They're the golden beetroots. Check those out. And then Boltardi beetroot. Look at those beautiful pink stems. Look, oh, gorgeous. They're not edible, but these are the alliums, so they're still doing well. They've not grown much since I last updated you, but they're still looking healthy. Next we have red drumhead cabbages, greyhound cabbages, Mozart cabbages, and red rookie cabbages. Looking happy. They will need potting on soon, so I've got a big potting on job to do, it looks like. And then this is the Raab broccoli, so this is the 60-day harvest time broccoli, and the purple sprouting broccoli's come up nicely as well. So I think that had only just started coming up last time I updated you. Spring onions, a few more spring onions have started to germinate as well. They're the ones that germinated at home, the longer ones. But since then, happy to see, there's a few more shorter ones coming up as well. So since I brought them, they've slowed down growth, but they have germinated a few more, because I was concerned that it was just going to be that little clump. But yeah, there's a few around the whole pot coming up now. We have kohlrabi. Look at those purple stems again. Lovely. Looking good. This is the winter salad leaf mix, which is this one here. So these purple bits came up first. I should know what they are really, but I don't. I think this one here is a mustard. So maybe, yeah, I think the purple is mustard, because you can see, hopefully you can see there. These are the seed leaves, these round leaves, or the heart-shaped leaves. And then here we've got a slightly more mustardy looking leaf starting to come, these spiky leaves. I think that might be spinach, the long leaves here. You can see those, and then there's a green, what looks like the mustard, some green starting to come up as well. I'm not sure what they are, but yeah, a lot of mix of some sort of salad leaves. And then I did sow lamb's lettuce in this second piece and land cress in this bit, but neither of those have germinated. So I mean, they've been in since the 25th of January. So I'm not sure how long they take. So it's time for me to head outside into the cold, but luckily not wet as well, to see if I can plane down some of the posts that are going into the ground. So you might have seen in my January update that I was putting the metal spikes in the ground. They're all in, but the posts that go into them are slightly, like millimeters almost too big to go in them. I think they're the right size, but they're literally perfectly sized, so they just don't quite wedge in. So I'm going to just plane off the bottoms of them a little bit, just to taper them slightly so that they go into the metal. So yeah, I'm about to head out there and do that. lovely to see the ranunculus has settled in that I planted at the start of the month. It really is nice coming through the gate and being greeted by these really bright coloured flowers sitting in this planter here. And polytunnel update. So it's the next day and the mooly radishes seem to have settled in really nicely. They've perked up a little bit since they went in. Yeah, and we'll maybe have a few radishes to harvest in a few weeks. Also in the polytunnel, check out the tulips. So they've grown a bit since I last updated you, and even the one with the weird leaf is thriving. This here I think might be a yellow crocus. And these may be daffodils, but we'll see. And the radishes in the raised bed outside, along with the beetroot that I planted in here yesterday, they're also looking okay. They've survived the night, they've perked up a little bit since they've been moved. Yeah, we should have some nice golden red beetroot coming out of here soon. Back at home, check out how tall the cucumber's got. It's going to need a new stick soon. And look, the first flowers too. Check out how massive the lychee has grown. So last time I showed you this was 10 days ago, and look at the difference. It is, in comparison, it is huge, and others have sprung up as well now, but look how beautiful that leaf is, like the green and the pink. I can't wait to see, like, one, how big it gets, and two, just sort of what happens. I have no idea with lychees. So you're about to get a sneak peek of what I'm going to be doing in next month's vlog. I had a delivery of wood chips. I arrived at the plot and there it was, a nice surprise of golden wood chips for me. So they're going to be laid all over my paths, hopefully covering up all that black plastic that's laying down. It's going to look so much nicer. So one thing I wanted to do before the end of February was to prune my hellebores. So the plan is that you cut off all the old leaves. So you can see some of these here have got like little notches out of them and holes and little brown bits. So cutting off the old leaves stops any disease spreading from the old leaves onto the new foliage. It also gives them air around the base of the plant. So you can see there, look, they look so much nicer now that they've got all those old scraggy leaves cut off. Look at the beautiful centre of that. What a gorgeous colour, and then that yellow in the middle. Lovely. So I do have a small collection of hellebores, and the reason I love them so much, not only because they're such beautiful flowers, like the shape of them and the colour, but also that they flower in winter. So these have been flowering for weeks now, while it's been almost like the coldest time of year. And on the last day of February, look who decided to bloom for me. Tiny little cucumber flowers. I'm not sure if it's good to keep these on. I have heard that sometimes with some plants you should take off some of the first flowers so that they can put energy into growing taller, but I just couldn't resist seeing those beautiful flowers so early in the year. So I've left them on. It's finally happened. The posts for the fruit cage are finally in the ground. So in my January vlog you'll have seen me hammering in the metal spikes, and today I had a lot of help from Mark to get these posts in, and they're lovely and solid. So next month you will be able to see me putting the netting on and hopefully turning this into a proper fruit cage. So if you'd like to see how all of that goes, and you'd like to follow my progress throughout the rest of the growing season, please subscribe to my channel and give me a like and a comment on this video, and I'll see you next time.